Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Persevering with PCOS live show. My name is Yashi Carrington of the Mind of Yash. I am a fitness instructor, I'm a speaker, and I am a self worth strategist with the Women's School, and I have dubbed myself the PCOS Positivity Guide. So, welcome to the Persevering with PCOS live show. For a long time, I haven't broadcasted this to Facebook. So, if you're joining me from my Mind of Yash Facebook page, welcome, because most of my episodes and from this point forward as well, my episodes are on YouTube, so please feel free to check out my YouTube page, Mind of Yash, and subscribe so that you can get all the future episodes as well as all the past episodes from my live show that started on Facebook last year for the PCOS Awareness Month in September. So you will have all the old episodes there as well on my Facebook page. And you would see all the interviews from the Persevering with PCOS summit that I had earlier this year. And of course, all the new episodes with my new Persevering with PCOS live show. So tonight, I really wanted to come on here, especially in Mental Awareness Month, to talk about the mental and emotional side of PCOS. It's something I wanted to do last week when October started, but of course, my toddler and mommy duties called, so I wasn't able to. But I'm here now, and I really want to touch on this topic because it's something that's very near and dear to my heart, especially in my own journey. Yes, polycystic ovarian syndrome is a condition that affects your physical a lot. You have all the symptoms, you have resistant weight loss, you have excess facial hair, you may be losing your hair, so you have male pattern baldness, you may have acne, and other things. If you've been around my channel long enough, you would have heard of the different physical symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome. However, a lot of times people don't address the mental and emotional side of things. And it's the reason why I started being more open about my own journey and being very vulnerable about the ups and downs that a condition like that can bring. And it's something that I didn't really pay too much attention to when I was first diagnosed at age 18 because like you're coming into your own. There's so many challenges. You just started a relationship, you're in school, you're studying, you're just thinking that this is all part of life, but not realizing that a condition like that could really affect the different arenas of your life, even in your relationships, even in your ability to dream and be optimistic about life. Because sometimes when you get that diagnosis, I know doctors have said that they usually like to give more details on the second visit because they know that when a woman or a person is diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, in that first session, they are so shocked and they have to come to terms with it that a lot of things that a doctor might be saying to you in that session will be just going out the window. So, the second session is really when you've had time to digest and really come back and ask the right questions. But so, anyhow, so this is why in my journey, I have really wanted to help women with PCOS deal with its symptoms with a more positive mindset. And even lately, I've been wondering if it's really a positive mindset or if it's more of a resilient mindset, of a perseverant mindset. I don't know if that's a word. Okay, I make up words here sometimes. Because it really does take a toll. Okay, like just having the physical symptoms alone is, yes, you have to address it, but because of those physical symptoms, you do have mental and emotional issues. And then if you have struggles with fertility, which is not true for everybody, those things can also take a toll as well. So I just wanted to come on here to address that and to kind of bring awareness to it, especially in this month of mental awareness, because it's, even though I feel like it's more being talked about, like mental health awareness in general is being talked about, I feel like there still needs to be a lot more, especially when it comes around to reproductive health and women's health and these things. Because there are too many women out here who are suffering in silence, suffering alone, or feeling like they're alone. And I've been there, um, because it's when you get a diagnosis like that, you kind of feel embarrassed and ashamed, and you don't know where to turn, and you feel very much alone. And it was only when I started being more open about it, I realized just how common it is, and just how much it could affect your mental and emotional health. And so this month, well, actually last month, I started doing a course called the PCOS Nutrition and Lifestyle Blueprint with nutritionist Martha McKittrick. And I've been learning a lot more about the condition, and because I really want to be informed, uh, so that when I'm speaking to you guys, that I am speaking from an informed place, I'm speaking from a compassionate place, and I'm speaking from a place that's somebody who is still on the journey with you. And a couple of things in the course really struck me from what she was saying, and I just want to share a couple of things that I read, right? So there are many health risks of PCOS, which in itself, when you think about it, can really make you feel not so great, right? And that things like inflammation, hypothyroidism, IBS, fatty liver, pregnancy symptoms. And something that struck me was that persons with PCOS have a 4 times higher incidence of eating disorder. Hi, Shine. And I had to kind of look back at my own journey, when it came to eating. And I know throughout my time, I have done a lot of emotional eating without realizing that is what it was, because that was my comfort, which would kind of start a cycle, because when you emotionally eat, then you have, you can't lose your weight as easily, and all those things. Depending on what you eat, it can make your insulin resistance worse. And then it comes back to that cycle, and you're feeling not so great about yourself. But when I think about it, I've had moments where I, you know, was really borderline eating disorder. I could think about those times. And the reason that I want to talk about it here as well is because everybody is on their own journey. And what I've been learning more and more, and I'm very passionate about sharing as well, is that everybody on this journey doesn't have to do the same things, because PCOS and these conditions affect each person differently. So when you hear these restrictive diets that say, gluten free, dairy free, keto, what there's another one that I'm forgetting, or intermittent fasting, and all these things. While I'm not saying that they may not work for some people, I don't want you to feel any sense of guilt if it is you tried it and it didn't work, because everybody's journey is different. And while I, in my journey, realized that dairy increased my inflammation, that doesn't mean you need to cut out dairy from your life. Maybe you're fine with that, and maybe there's something else that you need to address. But when it comes down to it, you really need to pay attention to how things affect you. If you eat a certain thing and you feel extra fatigue, or you feel extra bloated, or whatever it is, um, then you take mental note of that, and then you adjust accordingly. But don't compare yourself to anybody else. If somebody's telling you, it's like, no, you just need to do this and you'll lose it, you're not doing that. And please, as politely as you can, tell them to mind their business. Okay? Because everybody is on their own journey. I don't know how else to really put that across, but you're on your own journey. You do what it is you need to do for you, because your mental health is worth it. It's not worth, somebody else's opinion. It's not worth anything else. You take care of your mental and emotional health, and you reach out to the resources. Like, I'm so grateful for me being a little bit more open and vulnerable about my journey, because it helped me to find some great resources of people who listen, who listen to the struggle, who understand that we're not just being lazy, we're not just making excuses, that this is a real thing. Okay, whether you believe that, you know, it came from unhealthy gut, or if it came from a gene that got triggered, the environment, all these factors are things that we need to consider. But at the end of the day, is a real thing, and people are going through this and having to deal with this every day of their life. So for anybody who's listening and who may not have PCOS, or who does not know somebody with it, I want you to know that it's something that is very common. And there are many women that are in your life who are probably dealing with it. And sometimes it goes undiagnosed, and and these things. But I want you to really be a little bit more compassionate. And I'm saying this to the people who may not understand it. And I understand that sometimes you try. I know my husband, he tries as best as he can to understand what is happening, because he has a completely different metabolism, and and those things. I want you to be a little bit more compassionate, because you never know what somebody is going through. And I'm saying this to even the people who have been diagnosed with PCOS. I want you to be compassionate with yourself, because it is a victory when you get through a day and you've incorporated more veggies in your diet. It is a victory for you if you were able to work out 30 minutes a day. It's a victory for you if you took a moment for self-care. You meditated, you prayed, you took a walk, you journaled. All those things are victories for you, because it is, hi Jennifer, because it is something that can overtake your life. And I know I've been there. And I want to tell you that even though it is a condition that is not curable, it is conquerable. I say that all the time. And I don't want you to, like, I know I also believe in the things of saying, like, don't claim the condition. Don't, like, I try to change my language and stop saying like my PCOS. And um well, I guess that's the only thing, my PCOS. Like, don't try to claim it and become that diagnosis. I don't want you to do that. But I don't want you to go into the side of things where it's like you're just going to be oblivious, or like you're just going to forget that you're doing it, or feel like I'm saying that you need to forget that you have gotten that diagnosis, because it's a real thing, and everybody is struggling with it. Not everybody, but the people who get the diagnosis are struggling with it. But I want you to do what you need to do for your mental and emotional health. Because what I've learned in the course that I'm doing is that, well, I think I lost it. That there is a 5 times higher rate of anxiety, a 10 times higher rate of depression, and a 7 times more likely chance to think about suicide, or when somebody has this condition. And I really don't want it to get to that for anybody, because while this is going to be a struggle, it is not you. You are like such a strong person for dealing with this. With people who don't understand the fact that you've just eaten and you're feeling the hunger pangs again, or having the cravings, or feeling fatigued and not being able to do as much as you want, or not knowing if you'd be able to be pregnant, become pregnant, and carry up a pregnancy full term. Like, those things are a lot to take on. And I see you, and I understand. So I just want you to know that you need to take care of your mental health, and don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Yes, you could try different things. I mean, I've been trying a lot of things. I've been going to ashwagandha. Um, yeah, I tried more things than that, and it just kind of shot out of my head. And I'm going to try inositol, which is something that nutritionists seem to say help insulin resistance. Try things, do yoga, do Zumba with me, um, do skipping, whatever it is you feel you need to do and what helps you and helps not just your physical but your mental health. Please, please, please do it, because you are worth that. And this thing is not going to overtake your life. It's not going to control you. You are going to be in control of it. You're going to conquer it. And it is not, your worth is not in that. Your worth is in who you are and your contribution to the world. So even your story with this thing is going to be a contribution. It's going to be part of what makes you so beautiful. And I'm saying that because that's something I had to realize for myself, because if it wasn't for this condition, I wouldn't have paid more attention to myself and my self-care. I wouldn't have started this show to try to reach out to people. I wouldn't have made the connections that I've made. So many wonderful connections of people who are really fighting and advocating. Is that a word? Advocating? I don't know. Being advocates for women's health and for hormonal disorders and these things. Like, the conversation is being had, and this is great. But I also want to talk more about the mental and emotional side, because that is important too. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. I just want to make sure that people are so aware of the mental side of things, and to know that you're not alone. There's so many persons who can relate, and together with the right support and with continuing to have the conversations and reaching out to the persons who have the right information and who would listen to what you're feeling, and know that they're not going to give you this one set plan and say you need to do this, you need to lose weight, you need to this one set plan, and if you don't see results and something's wrong with you, then that's a red flag. And I know there's this red flag trend going around on social media that not too clear where it came from, but that's a red flag. You want somebody who is going to tell you what's the right labs to take, and really do a root cause analysis and understand how it's affecting you, and then tailor that to your way. And that's the dream of healthcare that I want, and so many of the connection that I've made want as well. So we can do it. Don't worry about it. Well, I shouldn't say don't worry about it, but don't let it bog you down, because you are more than that, your diagnosis. And you are special and awesome and amazing for getting up every day and dealing with something like this, and still, being a wife, being a mom, being a friend, being a worker, being everything that you are despite it. So that's all I really wanted to say today. And I just want you guys to be more intentional, not just this month, but in totality, about taking care of yourself and your mental and emotional health. And please feel free to reach out to me if you have a question. I'm not a nutritionist and I'm not a medical person, but I've met a lot of persons who can help you on your journey. And the things that I've learned myself, I could tell you about as well. So feel free to reach out. I'm just a DM away, or you can email me at connect@mindofyash.com. And be sure I'm doing this here on Facebook because this is such an important topic. I wanted it to reach as many persons as possible. But my episode is going to be on YouTube from now on. So please subscribe there so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. AST, I'm going to have the wonderful Angie Clay, which is another connection I've made on Clubhouse, here to talk about journaling, because I've heard that really helps with mental health. And I haven't been very consistent with it, but I want to learn more about it. So she's going to join me next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. to talk about journaling. So guys, with that, take care of yourselves, reach out to whoever you need. Even if you need professional help, please seek it. It's not anything to be ashamed of. Please do it. Your mental health is worth it. Bye.